Yeah, I have a follow-up question here, Mr. Superior. This is with reference to, you mentioned about my question. The previous question was explain the business problem and scope of work. Now, I was not very clear because I get a feeling that you've answered the same thing for both the business problem and scope of work. Would you like to tell us again specifically what was the business problem and the scope of work? Is it exactly the same? Can you please explain further?
The business problem, yes, sorry, I'll try to elaborate my answer. The business problem was to help the customers get better returns while they're selling their vehicles, second-hand cars, for example. And the solution for this business problem was to try and identify the right price. So as part of the scope of our work, we decided to predict the mileage of the vehicle for each vehicle, given the factors or given the characteristics of the car, so that it can directly help us to identify what could be the right price for that particular vehicle.
Okay, all right. Thank you. Thank you so much, Mr. Superior, for your answer. I'd like to now move on to Mr. Inferior for his answer. But I think audience, you get the general, I mean, speaking out of character, I think audience, you get the general idea as to how the response of Mr. Superior has been totally jumbled up. In fact, the second opportunity given to explain the answer has only confused the interviewer even further. So let us now hear from Mr. Inferior. Please go ahead.
Yes, thank you. So I'm Inferior and I got trained from Superior Institute. As I've told you, I was given an opportunity to work on 4 different projects. And one of the projects was pertaining to financial analytics. And the client said that a lot of people were taking the loan and running away. They were not repaying the loan on time, and they would be called as defaulters. If someone who takes the loan does not repay within 3 months or doesn't pay 3 months of installments, they would be categorized as defaulters. So from this, we were expected to minimize the fraud. That was a key objective that we were trying to address. And by doing that, if we do some predictions and if we keep rejecting the loans based on high probability of someone defaulting, then the business revenue will go down. Profits of the bank will shrink. So we had a constraint also, which was to maximize the profits at the same time. Given this was from the business standpoint. That is how we started off. And then we have also defined the success criteria. As part of success criteria, we understand that there has to be business success criteria because we are doing this project for a business, for a bank. So the business success criteria was to minimize the number of defaulters by 10%. And then we have also given machine learning success criteria because this is a data science project. And the machine learning success criteria was to achieve an accuracy which was greater than 85%, which would be greater than 85%. And then the client is giving us project to get some benefits, monetary benefits out of that. So we have also documented the economic success criteria. And as part of economic success criteria, we had to interact with the client. We had to interact with the customer to understand that how much money will they save if we reduce the defaulters by 10%. They told that it could be anywhere between $1.5 million to $2 million. So that's the range that we have taken as an economic success criteria. Given that we had to kick off the project, to kickstart the project, we wanted some concrete document. And then we forced the client to give us the project charter. And the client was super busy. So client told, hey, why don't we both together document the project charter? And that is exactly what we have done. We've sat down with the client. We have understood what is the project requirement. Are we doing this for personal loan or are we doing it for automobile loan? Are we doing for educational loan? For which loan category are we doing? Then we figured out that we were looking at construction equipment loan. So the scope of this project was confined to construction loan allotment department, and everything else was out of scope. So we had to clearly document that. And having documented that, we've also recorded the high-level risks that we might foresee on the project. For example, maybe the connectivity, when we want to connect to the server of the client to get the data, maybe the connectivity might go down. Sometimes we might not get access to right data, or we might not get access to the data on time, rather, if I were to put it that way. And also, we have recorded the key stakeholder details. A lot of times communication mismatch happens. So we wanted to know who are the key people from the customer, from the bank, who would interact with the data science team. And we've also recorded their details in the key stakeholder details. We've also given them the milestones. We told that the entire project would approximately take 2 months, within which the first 15 days would be to establish the connection between your server and our server, and to do all the testing pertaining to the infrastructure, installing all the required softwares, etc. Then the next 15 days would be spent only on data pre-processing, cleaning the data and all that. The next 15 days would be on model building, evaluating the model. And then the next 15 days would be to deploy. So we have given the high-level milestones in this manner. And we've also given them the budget. How much money are we going to charge the bank on a milestone basis? So at the end of each milestone, we have also defined the success criteria, or the artifacts, which have to be given to the customer. As soon as customer receives those artifacts, customer is expected to release the money. And this is how we have documented the project charter, and we have kicked off the project. And in the first discussion, we had a very lengthy discussion with the client, key stakeholders, and our data science department. And then we have proceeded further with the subsequent steps. Thank you so much.